Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the conversation on TOS Television Network, and we are reaching you from Nigeria's federal capital city of Abuja. It's a beautiful Monday morning, the start of a new week, and I hope you are actually prepared, for the week. My name is Adesu Welsi.
And I am Merciful Ajinamo. Good morning.
Good morning, Merciful. Okay, you know that before we start the show proper, we will be bringing you the quote of the day. Yes, that just goes to say there's something to be learned from every experience. I mean, no experience is a waste, right? Whether it's a bad one or a good one, there's always something, to take away from it. That's my personal, opinion in regards to that quote. What is yours?
I think it's more like a general opinion. You see,
Okay.
when we, pass through some things and some scars, we have them to remind us that, look, we have been through this thing and we overcame. So it's some sort of lesson. Going forward, make the same mistakes we've made before. So I think that's supposed to be like a general opinion for everyone. And we say, okay, we're learning, and we're on to the next one.
And we move.
We move.
All right. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be taking you through developments across Africa.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sport and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, and the budget they lose. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbeneja, and I am the People's Journalist.
Welcome back. It's still the conversation showing on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And straight ahead, we go into development across Africa, and we begin with Mali, where on March 25th, 2021, in the late morning, the Barkhane force carried out a strike, neutralizing an armed terrorist group 60 kilometers north of Indeliman. The French military reported Thursday night in a statement, and Anadolu News Agency reported the release came after several alerts were issued during the day by local sources on civilians' death. The strike was carried out based on erroneous information reported Idak Shahak, a community group of northern tribes in Mali. In the statement, the group rejected France's claims and named 5 people it said died in the strike. According to the local notables version, there were 6 young people, 4 under 16 and 2 between 18 and 20. They had decided to spend the day outside the village of Talatai on 3 motorbikes and armed with a hunting rifle to shoot rabbits and partridges, stated Mohammed Asler Ahmed, the mayor of the locality, quoted by the Malian press. This is very sad one, I must say.
Very sad, and that's, what's it called? I don't understand. These are 5 or 6 young people since the ages of 16 and 18. And if you're going to do an airstrike, I think you should have adequate information as to you know, what's in that area, or I really wouldn't know why the airstrike was carried out, but I'm thinking it's probably against terrorist attack or some sort of insurgency. But it turns out it was civilians that were there, and then young persons were killed. I think whoever, you know, ordered the airstrike, or whoever carried out, or whoever gave the information, I think there should be some sort of investigation, and people should be probed.
Because we can't have people dying and we say the reason because of erroneous information. It's a very sad
exactly.
one.
It's
so
very
what
sad.
is the families of these people, what are they going to say? Like, our children, our words were just outside.
Just like young people, teenagers. I think the oldest is about 20 years of age.
Yeah.
It's quite sad. A probe should be carried out, and whoever gave, whether it's a wrong information or a wrong call, they should get justice. Somebody has to pay for that. You can just let it go. And then moving over, you know, to Egypt, Egyptian Transport Minister Kamel Al-Wazir issued an official apology on Saturday on behalf of the Egyptian National Railway over a collision between two trains in Upper Egypt. The Health and Population Ministry on Friday announced the death of 32 people and the injury of 66 others in the train collision near Sohag. Wazir's apology followed President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Justice Minister Omar Marwan, Higher Education and Scientific Research Minister Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, Local Development Minister Mahmoud Sharawi, Interior Minister Mahmoud Taufik, Health and Population Minister Hala Zayed, and Transport Minister and Social Solidarity Minister Nevin Al-Kabaj. The deputy head of the Central Region's train drivers in Upper Egypt, Khalid Baga, announced the death of Kamal Mansour, the driver of air-conditioned train 2011 involved in the Sohag train collision. The government has allocated that's 225 billion Egyptian currency for the development of railways in Egypt, and we're currently trying to harmonize the operating requirements and the development of the railways, said the minister. Another sad news. It's quite sad that we're actually starting the show, with two sad stories. A train collision. You don't often hear about, you know, trains colliding. So that's kind of, I don't want to say negligence or somebody, because I know before trains meet, there's always a sound. It's probably controlled, right? Even from the station and communication. So I don't know how the collision happened, and, you know, lives were lost in that process. Quite sad actually.
Very sad. All right, we move on to Nigeria here and its entertainment story, where Governor Wike gifts Burna Boy and other artists 10 million naira each at homecoming party. Now, the artists were given the money for performing at a homecoming party in Port Harcourt, organized in Burna Boy's honor by the Rivers State government. During the closing moments of the event, Wike said, "Those of you who have come to play, whatever you have agreed with the Ministry of Culture and Tourism is not my business." He said, "All of you that have come today, and the Niger Delta people that have come to play today to show the talent you have, I'm very proud of you. All of you will go home with 10 million naira each," he added while the audience cheered him. Now, Burna Boy won the Grammy Award for Best Global Music Album with his 2020 project Twice the Stall at the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards held on Sunday, March 14, 2021. The governor described the Grammy Award winner, who is of Rivers descent, as the pride of the state when Burna Boy, his parent and management team, paid him a courtesy call at the Government House, Port Harcourt. I think this will definitely put smiles on the faces of the artists and everybody that performed.
Yeah, I didn't know that the 10 million naira was actually off whatever, you know,
it was
payments
off. It was like an addition.
You know, to collect. I thought, I'm just actually understanding.
You thought it was like a payment.
Yeah, aside whatever they've agreed, you know, to get paid to, you know,
whether it was less or more, it's
an additional 10 million. That's good.
That's very good.
You know, in as much as people would say that, you know, exorbitant, like, you know, state funds and all of that stuff, you don't have to, you know, spend it like that. But I'm a fan of Burna Boy, right? Although Burna Boy wasn't the only person or the only artist that performed that event. I knew Timaya was there. Timaya is also, you know, a Port Harcourt boy, and then quite a number of persons. And actually fun to see, you know, the homecoming artists going back home to give back, even though they are collecting. But, you know, I think just having them come back home and showing their talents is just to encourage, you know, young and up-and-coming artists that look, we came from here, we've gone global, we can do it, so we can do it, then you can do it. Home. Exactly. So it's like trying to encourage people, younger artists over there, like, look, wherever you're from shouldn't deter you or shouldn't stop you from, you know, making it big and looking. So it's just like, they can see, bringing them back home, they can see that, oh, Burna Boy is from here, Timaya is from here, this person's from here, and they've gone global, they've left from here, and all of that stuff. But That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I think it's a good one for the entertainment industry, especially in River State.
Yeah.
It shows that yes, now entertainment industry can be seen as a fertile ground for talent of River State descent and people from Port Harcourt to say yes, we have we have a government, we have a platform that is encouraging people who have this talent. So I mean, if someone wakes up and see 10 million in their and it's not like your payment. He said he stressed in the statement. He said he doesn't care what
whatever
the agreement you have,
paid,
but there's like an addition. I think it's a good one for them.
It's a good one, but this is just another eye opener to say that look, once you make it big, everyone won't be associated with you.
Definitely,
because I do know how the issues the Burna Boy had with all let's not go back and forth with that.
So much,
but now he's gone global. He's won the Grammy, and everybody wants to claim him. Oh, Burna Boy is from here. Burna Boy is Nigerian.
When you say claim,
it's claiming him.
So they're trying to farm him.
Yes, exactly. Just be associated with him, and look, everybody wants to be associated with success story, right?
Of course.
And that's it. So I think that's another motivation for you to do so much. Just whether you have support or not. Because Burna Boy had always said, look, I didn't have support for anyone. Nobody wanted to be associated with me. Nobody wanted to help me. But now that I've made it big, everybody knows.
The story has changed.
The story
it's twice as tall.
Exactly, twice as tall. So it's a sort of encouragement, whether you're struggling, nobody's, no help is coming, just do whatever you can do by yourself. So she makes sure that you get, it's that spotlight. Once you get there, it's different from there onward. All right, moving over to sports now. Super Eagles, that's our Nigeria Super Eagles, qualifies for African Nations Cup, as Onuachi Gold ends Squirrels' 8-year unbeaten run. The Super Eagles of Nigeria sealed a 1-0 victory over Benin Republic in their Africa Cup of Nations, that's AFCON qualifier in Port Novo. The team striker Paul Onochi, who played as a substitute in the game, was the match winner as his 93rd minute goal sealed the victory. Going forward, Onochi has been impressive at the club side this season. He replaced Kelechi Iheanacho in the 70th minute and grabbed the winner in added time. The win ended Benin Republic's 8-year unbeaten home run. The West African side last lost a home game in 2013 when they fell to a 3-1 defeat to Algeria in a World Cup qualifier. Henry Onyekuru had Super Eagles' best chance in the first half, but his shot was saved by goalkeeper Santonin Alagbe. Napoli forward Victor Osimhen, who also came close with a fine effort, but it was Onochi who joined the squad as a replacement for injured Moses Simon that snatched the late win. The win could have secured the 2021 African ticket for Nigeria if the result of the other game of the group between Lesotho and Sierra Leone had not already let Nigeria qualify. That's quite I think everybody over the weekend was very joyous, overjoyed to actually see that look, Nigeria is qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations. It would have been a sad weekend for most Nigerian and football lovers if Nigeria did not qualify, for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah, and another obvious thing there was the Benin team, the Benin Republic team. They had not had a loss for 8 years in their home. So it was some sort of okay, let's see what this turns out to be, because we're hopeful. They're also hopeful. I mean, this has come to stay in their perspective.
Yeah.
Like every game they played since 2013, they have won it.
Yeah, they got used to it.
So when we had this 1-0 win, I mean, it was everything for Nigerians.
It was big.
People were like, "Oh, Super Eagles, go! Let's see how we can, clinch this," and we got it. So
we got it. I like that one. All right, so Nigeria is going to be playing at the Africa Cup of Nations. Quite interesting. I'm looking forward to see how well we do, at that game. All right, that's so much you can take, on development across Africa. I hope you were fully abreast, you are now fully abreast with, happenings and, stories from across the African continent. Don't worry, you're welcome. We're going to go on a break now, and in that time, we're going to be bringing you COVID-19 updates from across Africa. Welcome back. That was COVID-19 updates from across Africa. Now, as I always tell you, I'm not going to get tired of, community advocate and plead that we take necessary precautions and, take the vaccines if your country has started rolling out vaccines so that, we can get over and done with COVID-19 this year, or maybe, the earliest part of next year, depending on, the vaccination process and how long it takes. But do your part so that we can all beat COVID and we can all, be safe from COVID-19. I want to hear Merciful say something today about, the COVID-19.
Yeah, like every day, we come to the show, you say, look, we can do this, and I look forward to you saying it every day because it's really, apart from it being very motivating and inspiring, it's like an eye-opener that, look, if you're not doing it already, you should start doing it. So every day is like a reminder. So kudos to you, Adesua.
Thank you very much.
You're doing an amazing job. Like you're talking to me, we can do this. And yes, so just ensure you're washing your hands, you're, being socially distanced from your neighbor, so you can protect yourself and protect your neighbors as well.
All right, having said that, we're going to go straight into newspaper headlines for this morning. Yes, we're going to be bringing headlines that made it to front page of Nigerian dailies today. And I'm going to be starting from the Blueprint newspaper and then starting, from the very top of the Blueprint. Troops ambush Boko Haram fighters, kill 49, rescue 11. The first rider under that 2 power facilities attacked in Borno State. Youth unemployment responsible for insecurity. That's coming from Atiku Abubakar. Now under that we have 3 killed as rival cult groups review clash in Osun State. Renew clash in Osun State. Those stories are page 6 and page 20 of the Blueprint newspaper respectively. Now, also on the top or on the right-hand corner, Axis Bank gets approval for Grow Bank acquisition. You can find that on page 25. FCMB records 19.610 billion naira profit. That's also on page 25 of the Blueprint newspaper. Now moving over to the very, very gaping headline there. As 2023 beckons, Ganduje hosts Oshibajo, APC governors, others at Tinubu colloquium. Northwest speakers endorse ex-Lagos governor's choice at 69. He not chose talents for nation's development. That's coming from Buhari and Fayemi. Asiwaju, a political strategist. That's coming from Lawan, Gbajabiamila and other governors. And then choice of Kano has political undertone. That's a Don saying that. That's coming from, page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then just underneath the very, very colorful picture of the day right there. I think that's on Palm Sunday. NULGE threatens mass protest over NAS plan to delist 774 local governments. And then just underneath that one, woman nabbed for killing own 1-month-old baby in Ogun State. That's quite sad. Court reinstates Shiriro, local government chair, 4 months after suspension. And food inflation, major culprit of COVID-19 in Nigeria. That story is also on page 24 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then the last one on the Blueprint newspaper says, Abaribe hails PDP, a BCK on Abia South North rerun victory. All of these very, very interesting headlines you can find on the Blueprint newspaper if you just grab yourself a copy.
Of course, and we move over to Daily Trust newspaper. We'll begin from the very top as well. The first story there is 228 billion naira oil gas fabrication facility rot in Lagos Creek. That story can be found on page 21 of the Daily Trust. And just side by side is 2023, talking about the election. Ohaneze insists on Igbo presidency. That can be found on page 43 of the Daily Trust. And then side by side is resident doctors to embark on nationwide strike coming April 1st. And that story can be found on page 4 of Daily Trust. The very gaping headline says economic downturn, tough time for landlords, tenants. And the riders on there says rent paid piecemeal, house owners offer discount. Wow. The next one says default cases flood tribunals. And what should be done, says Redden and lawyer. And just underneath the picture of the day where we see like a graphics talking about the cost of annual rent in selected towns in Nigeria. The story there says Buhari, Lawan, governors, others hail Tinubu at 69, talking about his birthday celebration. That can be found on page 43. And then just beside that says residents abandon homes over kidnapping in Abuja Council. And that can be found on page 40. And the last story there is Olu crisis. Pastor, 15 others arrested over killings of security men. That can be found on page 46 of the Daily Trust.
Wow, okay, moving over to the Daily Times newspaper, starting from the very top as always. Forex scarcity, CBN assures Nigerians amid reserve depletion. Then underneath that, that's our two riders under the story. Releases $80 million weekly for school fees and BTAs. Rise in oil prices will improve situation, expert opines. That story is continued on page 5 of the Daily Times newspaper. And then moving over to the very gaping headline, choices of new IGP divides Aso Rock cabal as CP, AIG, DIG slug it out. Then just underneath the picture of the day, congratulations to Dame Julia Kadoni for her win at the Guardian Awards, I think this weekend. Underneath that, refineries, X-Rain federal government rehabilitation option for dormant refineries. And then on the economy, advocacy group blames Nigeria's woes on political leaders and structures. And then the last one on justice reforms, interrogating presidential justice reforms under Abubakar Malami. Those stories are on page 12, page 2, and page 13 of the Daily Times newspaper.
All right, we move over to the Punch newspaper and we have colorful headlines here. We begin from the very top as well. NIN telcos lose 11.8 million subscribers in 4 months. That can be found on page 30 of the Punch. And then the stories on the note says Kogi still missing as Nigeria's vaccination rises to 513,626. That can be found on page 14 of the Punch. And then besides that is most Nigerian airports not viable, says Senate committee. And presidency tackles Atiku over Nigeria's failed state comment. That can be found on page 7 of the Punch. I'll move over to the very gaping headline. And just before that, just side by side with the Punch headline, we see the update of COVID-19 in Nigeria. And the very gaping headline says daily fuel consumption hit 72.72 million liters. Marketers blame smuggling. And that can be found on page 31. The riders on then says petrol usage jumped from 57.44 million liters in November to 72.72 million in December. And then independent marketers berate security agencies, say fuel trucks not needle. And just under the picture of the day, again commemorating the Palm Sunday, talking about the Easter Holy Week. The story says cleric, 14 others arrested for Southeast attacks on police. That can be found on page 8. And just beside that, his family kicks over planned handover of mentally ill woman's baby to Lagos couple. That can be found on page 5 of the Punch. And police partner hunters as 3 abducted in Osun, 15 million naira demanded. That can be found on page 9. And then the last story is underneath. The first one says resident doctors restate April 1st indefinite strike date. Page 14, you can get that story. 9 feared killed in Osun, Benue, Anambra court clashes. Can be found on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. And the last story says COVID-19 hindering Ajakuta technical auditors, says minister. That can be found on page 32 of the Punch newspaper.
Moving straight into the last newspaper we're going to be looking at this morning, that's coming from, that's the Business Day newspaper. And the very gaping headline there says, coming to Nigeria, the curious case of Burger King. So basically Burger King, that's the world's second biggest burger chain, is planning to come to Nigeria. And then beside that, Seplat issues largest ever Nigerian oil gas bond worth $650 million. And then inside the Business Day as well, AIG, Imokwede and his bank buying audacity. That story is on page 26 of the Business Day newspaper. That's actually, all of it on the Business Day newspaper. Before, we wrap up this segment, I just want to reiterate, merciful, Burger King is coming to Nigeria.
I know you like food as well. I'm not the only one that likes food on this.
I said that because of you.
Okay.
Because I do know you like food. You like to eat. You like to snack.
No, it's very important. Yeah.
Exactly.
Food is very important
yes.
for us to, function effectively, to think, to work. We need food for our energy. So
I like how you're defensive of that one, but it's okay. Burger King is coming to Nigeria, so if you're like merciful, just anticipate. Yes.
So the very interesting story, that caught my attention, when we did the newspaper reviews and everything, was the economic downturn, tough time for landlords, tenants.
Yeah.
And when they say, rent, house owners are offering discounts.
Discounts.
So I think, we've always had controversial issues surrounding the rent.
Affordable housing.
Yes, especially in the Federal Capital Territory, as Abuja. People have been complaining of. So I think this is like, one of, I think it's a good news, bad news. It's
supposed to be a good news, but I haven't seen that. Like, I'm only just seeing that on the front page of the newspaper. I haven't actually heard anything. So
I'm actually keen to read the story,
to actually, see if how that's panning out. If landlords or house owners are actually, giving discount on rent, because with COVID and everything that's happening, it is having like a huge impact on everyone, especially finances. People are out of jobs and everything. But housing is essential. People have to live in a house, affordable housing too, like decent housing, decent and affordable housing, and all of that stuff. So if the house owners are actually seeing that this isn't okay, people can't afford this huge rent, and they're actually giving discount, that is actually very applaudable, and that's very appreciated. Definitely. Yes. All right, that's much we can take on the newspaper segment of the conversation this morning. We're going to go on a break, and when we come back, I'll be taking you through what's trending on social media. Welcome back, and before we get into me taking you through the top of the trend table today, what the hashtag that's been trending in the last 24 hours, allow me to let you know that you can be a part of the conversation and the community. Just follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. It's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also on YouTube. We have an amazing lineup of programming there for you and for your pleasure. And also you can check out our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. All right, moving back into, what is trending on social media. And guess what has been trending? Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trending again. He trended last week, and now he's trending again. He keeps finding his way to the top of Twitter trend table. And this time, there's a speculation online that's suggesting that the APC, that's the All Progressive People's national leader, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is gunning for the presidency, that's Nigeria's presidential seat, in 2023, right? And that has sparked quite a number of reactions on Twitter, on social media basically, but Twitter is like where people talk more. So I'm going to be bringing a few tweets, in line with that. And the first one is from Dele Momodu, that's the former Minister of Aviation. That's the Ovation MD or DG, Creative Director of the Ovation newspaper. And it says, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the move around Nigeria in preparation for the 2023 presidential election. And we see a picture of him with his entourage. I'm not sure what state that is, but yeah. And then this one is from @divine_Oketa. It says, so why doesn't he just be comfortable with that role? At least Buhari still answers to him. If Tinubu should really contest for president in 2023, he will not win, in capital letter, no matter the magic he wants to perform. It's really as simple as that. I think he's, saying why shouldn't he be content or just comfortable with being the national leader of the APC. And then this one is from @baby76170852. That's quite a long handle. And he says, well, I say we have no leaders in Nigeria. Who cares about the very growth of the citizens in Nigeria? All pretend to care because of money, selfish politics, and they pay you cyber warriors to help them navigate more into our heart. What has Tinubu done all to his gains. And then this one is from I Am Demola. People are already pushing Tinubu agenda. God, why? With, the crying and the heartbreak emoji. And then this one is from Tajuddin 2013. Why is Tinubu name giving you headaches? Where were you during the struggle for democracy under the military and 16 years as an opposition under People Disaster Party? Nigeria political landscape is big enough for every politician to actualize their dream. Merciful.
Yeah, in as much as this last tweet is actually very valid.
Accurate,
it's a platform for anyone who meets all the criteria. If you all check whatever they're looking for, and you meet it, why not? Everybody can. But yet we keep seeing controversies surrounding people and candidacy for the general elections. We spoke about this last week when we spoke about when he gave a donation to Katsina, something like Katsina, and people were like, I think this is a move, and we're like, okay, let's watch and see.
Pacify, the president to support him for his presidential.
So now, according to Nigerians, according to this guys on Twitter, this is he coming out to say, oh, he's coming for presidency, and
it's still speculation.
It's still speculation, yeah. But people are, we have people who are verified, people like Daily Momodu, and those people, when they speak, people of prominence, whenever they speak, their words, they hold water. So it's not something you can just look at. Some people will not see that speculation again. They're saying this is for a fact. So they can come out and say, oh, I think this cannot happen, this can happen. The truth is, everybody can do this. But we're looking at the people are, we're saying we're fighting for younger generations to take up leadership positions. And we should give room for, even women and youth and everything. But we keep seeing this, this back and forth of the older people, coming to rule and everything. So I think that is what's causing the whole controversy, surrounding Nigerian Twitter.
Well, I'm not going to give my reaction to that one today. I wanted to get, Merciful's reaction, to what's trending on social media. And I think I quite agree with your perspective. But I think like most Nigerians just waiting for him to actually outrightly come out and say, look, I'm vying for, I'm going to be contesting for, the presidency, the presidential seat in 2023, and then maybe start campaigning. But until he says that, for me, it's still going to be speculations.
True.
Yeah, Tinubu, because I know he's the APC national leader. For what it's worth, he might be rallying around for somebody or somebody that he wants to push out. We really don't know. Of course, it's politics, and then there are always going to be people's eyes on the ground for saying, look, what move are you trying to make? What are you doing? All of that stuff. But Hunter, it comes out to say that he's actually vying for the presidential seat. We're just going to keep our fingers crossed and just see how all of this plays out. All right, that's the much you can take on what's trending on social media today on The Conversation. Now we're going to go on a break. I think this is the most important break. And when we come back, we're going to be taking you through the big story.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sport and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, the budget they lose. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbenedion, and I am the People's Journalist.
Welcome back to the conversation showing your digital first Pan-African News Network TOS Television. And of course, this is the crux of the program, the big story. Sometime in December last year, the federal government reiterated its commitment to reducing the cost of governance and corruption in 2021 and beyond. The statement was made by the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Ikanada Agba, during his presentation on the high cost of governance and corruption at the stakeholders meeting hosted by the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption on Tuesday. Now it has become imperative to look inward and cut avoidable costs arising from governance with the recent economic vulnerabilities in the nation amid a growing weakness in the global economy, heightened by uncertainties around the world as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to disrupt global trade and investment. The big question is, how far have we gone in ensuring this? Joining us via phone conversation this morning is Kunle Lawal, Executive Director, Electoral College, Nigeria. You're welcome to the show, Mr. Kunle.
Morning.
Good morning.
To be on the show.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Several state actors have expressed the need to cut the cost of governance in our nation, but little seems to be done. What's your reaction to that?
Hello? I didn't get that, please.
All right. Several state actors, have expressed the need to cut the cost of governance in Nigeria. But, so far, little seems to, have been done so far. I'm asking for your reaction on this.
Okay. Looking at the cost of governance in Nigeria, one of the key things that needs to be done, or maybe will make it look like we're serious or headed somewhere, Nigeria has approximately first over 1,000 ministries, departments, and agencies. Now, this is massive, and imagine procuring a car for each of the heads of these ministries, departments, and agencies. And let's also remember they have counterlining functions. So I don't think the government is ready to cut down cost of governance, because I think there are even some agencies that might be added within the interim. And this is where the bulk of actually Nigeria's funds on governance goes. Not necessarily even salaries of people within the National Assembly and within, executive positions, but actually within the civil service and its counterlining functions with agencies that replicate what others already do.
Okay, talking about the supposed high cost, of running the National Assembly in Nigeria, it's been said over time that, the end result is on citizens, because we are the one that actually bear the brunt of all of this cost on, the National Assembly. How can citizens now hold, leaders accountable for this? What can we do to hold them accountable, for in this regard?
Okay, the first thing we would have to note as the electorate is, I think we first have to even become more concerned with who gets into the National Assembly. Because if you look at Nigerian voting patterns, you'll have, let me use Abuja as an example.
Yeah.
You have about, let's say, 1.8 million people voting for president in Abuja. And then on the same day, at the same polling unit, you have less than 400,000 people voting in the National Assembly, or for people in the National Assembly. So we first need to understand that National Assembly is important, and the kind of people who will take into the National Assembly. Then we must also bring into clear perspective that we can recall people within the National Assembly. It's not nuclear physics. It's possible. I know some people will argue it's not been done before, but I don't think Nigeria too has been where it is financially before. So I think we need to start to take very, very important measures in holding the National Assembly accountable. And if you can't get to your representative, I think, we should be making moves to recall them instead of, the shenanigans we do of waiting till another election.
Okay, but why do you think, though, that Nigerians, or the average Nigerian, is actually really just blind to whatever is happening at the National Assembly and just focused, on the presidency and then, state actors, but not really focused on what's happening at the National Assembly? Why do you think that is?
The truth is that Nigerians are politically illiterate.
Oh.
And this might sound a little hurtful to say, but it's the truth. No matter how educated that we are politically illiterate. Like the average person has a problem with his transformer. Instead of talking to his local government chairman, he goes up to blame the presidency for it. We do not understand that governance is like a stream. It's like an ocean. The ocean is of course the presidency, the streams that are governors and co, and then the ponds that flow behind us are our local government chairman. But we also would like to say that state actors, which are governors, have also kidnapped the local government, thereby circumventing the local government, which is the first handshake of democracy to the people.
All right.
So in this system, you find it hard because we've lived quite a jumbled system. You find it hard for the electorate to even know exactly who to go to and how to approach those things.
Okay.
So let's talk about the National Assembly. You see, very recently there was an alleged news that the National Assembly is broke. If we were to look at it from that aspect, what danger do you think is looking ahead if nothing is being done about that?
I didn't quite get that. Sorry. Could you take that?
Very recently, there was an alleged news that National Assembly is broke. So I'm asking, what dangers do you see, looking ahead if nothing is being done about the situation?
Still didn't get you. There's like an echo. I'm having I don't know, maybe there's like an echo and I can't hear you clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. So
a little slower.
Okay. So very recently, there was an alleged news that the National Assembly is broke. So if that is in itself a statement of fact, what dangers do you think is lurking ahead if nothing is being done about it?
I think the truth is that we do not regularly understand that the National Assembly is supposed to be a basic representation of the people. And within that, there's also this disparity which we have in Nigeria, which the people within the National Assembly are not accessible to the electorate. So with this quagmire, of course, allows the National Assembly, free chain to do whatever it wants to do when it's naturally not supposed to be that. I think we need to, as an imperative measure, as a speedy measure, to get the people to understand they must be accessible. The National Assembly must be accessible to the people, and in a case they are not, the people must. I'm not saying rise, but they must stand up and hold them accountable. And if they don't want to be held accountable, I'm going to open up the process of recall. And let's say the total number of people that voted, let's say in a constituency, are 18,000. To take out someone in the National Assembly of the total number of people that voted in that election for that particular constituency, and that National Assembly is 18,000. All you need to take out the person on seat is 9,001 signature.
Okay.
So I think.
Go on.
I think with the allowances they are paid, I think we should be able to demand more from the National Assembly. Okay.
Talking about demanding more from the National Assembly, I know earlier on you did say the average Nigerian is politically illiterate. So how can we bridge that gap? What do you think we can do, but as a people, as an individual, and as a nation generally, to bridge that gap, between educating Nigerians, generally on, political stance, or what they should do, what they're entitled to, what they can do, and, just bridging that gap between them and then the National Assembly?
Well, in recent times, I've noticed quite a lot of CSOs, including the Electoral College of Nigeria, have invested quite a lot of time in political literacy. But this has to be expansive. Most people run quite, short courses. But the problem is there's also poor interest from the electorate, and this I'm aware of, to attend such courses. I know the NOA is supposed to be doing all of this, but the NOA has concentrated on just telling people to vote. And that is not entirely what the democracy is about. You should be able to hold your leaders accountable. you should also be able to run for office. You should understand the jurisdictions of each office and where they can function and where they can't function. And this also even goes up to within governance. Even those within governance, I must say, are not very, very clear with their jurisdictions of office. And I'll give an example. When the National Assembly, I think the Federal House of Reps summoned the president, I remember the Attorney General made a statement and stated that the president, there is no part in the Constitution where the president can be summoned by the National Assembly. True,
Yes.
he's right. But just like we don't have in the Constitution, the president should brush his teeth at 7 o'clock. It's not in the Constitution. But when you look at it clearly from a holistic perspective, you check the act in which the National Assembly was formed. It states that the National Assembly can summon any Nigerian anytime. The president, as long as the president is a Nigerian, he can be summoned. So looking at that, you know, the Attorney General made that statement, and of course, knowing that most Nigerians do not understand the Constitution, nobody looked at the right place. And I'm sure people within the House of Reps too didn't even look at the act enacting them to question the president not appearing in front of them. So it's a whole quagmire of a lot of things.
Okay.
It's quite an uphill task.
All right. Let me take you back to you saying that one of the problems we have is that Nigerians are largely not interested in political issues. And I think I quite agree, because like when it comes to the issue of politics, people want to just take themselves away from it and just, you know, not be associated with anything that has to do with politics, right? What is your take on that as being the reason why, you know, people are not largely fully abreast with, you know, political issues in Nigeria?
You know, it's amazing for a country where a lot of people thirst for development, for advancement. A lot of people want to see things done as it is in Canada, US, Turkey, Britain. Everybody loves those countries. Everybody wants to go there. We even go as far as celebrating visas to countries in churches. Looking at that and then not demanding governance properly and not participating in politics and expecting things to change is like throwing a hook in a river and expecting to catch a tiger. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, of course, we have refused to. Our refusal to participate is the reason why Nigeria is exactly where it is.
Oh, okay.
Let's beam the searchlight on, you know, the spotlight on the education sector in Nigeria. Do you think, because, you know, we have curriculums, we have, you know, syllabuses for young people to, you know, be abreast of, you know, politics and governance as it is presently now. Do you think they're not doing enough? Because we're looking at this from a very large perspective now. People are not interested. And this is something that has been, you know, included in the Nigerian syllabus in talking about the education system. Do you think more should be done as regards that?
Number one, I would say the syllabi of politics or the syllabi of civic education in Nigeria, and if you get to read political science or those GEMS courses you do within university, have been very, very short of the reality on ground in politics. And I must also add to this. The political elite enjoy the fact that we remain politically illiterate. It is the only strength they have to perpetrate the rubbish that goes on. And I'll give you this clearly. There's a popular myth in politics which says that was sold sometime during 2019. Don't vote for a small party. It will be a waste of your vote. A lot of big parties sold that idea. But now it's funny, the big parties were buying votes. That is totally in full contradiction of that earlier statement. And the truth is, if the people only understood that, if they stood behind the party, regardless of it being small or big, they can tilt to the order of an election.
Yes.
So they can tilt the order of an election. So the people need to understand what exactly they can do and what they can't do. But I can't explain for their apathy towards that.
Okay.
It's another kettle of fish.
Okay, but in 1 minute, before we let you go, we're out of time, but in 1 minute, what do you think, if you're going to, you know, give an advice to this administration as how they can, you know, further curb or, you know, high cost of governance in Nigeria, what would it be?
Well, if I were to advise the administration, the first thing I'll do is the real money leaking in Nigeria is actually within ministries, departments, and agencies.
Okay.
Nigeria has too many ministries, departments, and agencies. I believe India has about 97. The US, I think, about 36. Nigeria has about 1,000. We're able to cut them down. And this is not taking people's jobs. This is lumping counter functions. Like, why do we have ICPC and EFCC counter functions?
Okay.
Why do we have civil defense, whatever? They could just, FRSC could be a traffic department in the police.
Okay.
You could rearrange these things. We'll spend less on governance, less bulletproof land cruisers, and less seminar bags and conferences.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, we're talking about how to, reduce the cost of governance in Nigeria, because that has been a conversation that's been on the front burner. Look, it's becoming too expensive. What can we do to run the National Assembly, to run the NDAs and all of that? And I think, our guest has further helped us put that into perspective. All right, that's so much we can take on the conversation this morning. Thank you so much for joining the show. Don't forget you can be a part of the conversation and a part of the TOS, television community by following us across all social media platforms. TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also check us out on YouTube. It's TOS TV Network. Also look up our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. I am Ade Suwalsui.
And I am Merciful Ajinamo. Thank you so much for watching.